Chapter 11. How to know exactly what action to take. Principle. You may still be asking, what action do I need to take to manifest my desired reality? How do I act? When do I act? The blueprint of your desired reality exists within you. Imagine if you had instructions from the version of you in your desired reality on exactly what to do to get there in the most efficient and effortless way. From the perspective of infinite parallel universes, the version of you living in your desired reality isn't just a wish or goal. It's a reality that already exists. Another way of conceptualizing it is to understand that the essence of everything is within you, which means all frequencies and all realities are also within you. Whether through the lens of quantum physics or spirituality, everything that you'll ever need and ever want is already within you, simply waiting to be accessed. The guidance and instructions are ready and waiting, but first you need to know the multi-dimensional sequence. That's when you'll know exactly what to do. The mistake that most make is acting on a frequency contradictory to their desired reality. The wrong frequency, even with the right action, will always lead to the wrong reality. The wrong state of consciousness, even with the right action, will always lead to the wrong reality. In a battle between actions and frequency, frequency wins every time. You cannot and will not out-hustle your frequency. The masses live in frequencies that are contradictory to their desired reality. They spend their life senselessly taking action to get to their desired realities, without ever realizing that action doesn't create reality, only frequency does. They are like flies trying to get outside through a closed window. They desperately want to escape, so they continuously bash into the window with all their might, burning themselves out and eventually dying on the windowsill. Taking action to become wealthy while being in the frequency of poverty will only lead to a reality of poverty. No action from poverty will ever bring wealth. Taking action to become fit while in the frequency of being unfit will only lead to a reality of unfitness. No action from unfitness will ever bring fitness. Taking action to become free while being in the frequency of survival will only lead to a reality of survival. No action from survival mode will ever bring freedom. Action alone isn't enough, but it is a necessity. Since you exist in a physical world, it cannot be avoided, but that doesn't mean the action you take must be hard. You act through your ego, also known as your physical vessel, that relies on its 5 senses to navigate and make sense of the world. The ego isolates itself from the infinite intelligence, and as a result, suffers from a limited awareness of the entirety of reality, seeing everything from the lowest level of consciousness. Seeing everything from the lowest level limits results to be of the lowest level, and this is where most of humanity will reside for the rest of their lives. To the ego, action leads to results. Think about it. Whenever you want something, you take action to get it. Whenever you want to go somewhere, you take action to get there. Whenever you want to eat something, you take action to eat it. Whenever you want to drink something, you take action to drink it. But remember, the ego operates from a limited awareness of reality, so it doesn't know what is really going on. When the ego experiences something it doesn't like, it fixates on the process of taking action to change the result. The illusion presented here by the ego is a trap, that you can change an effect by changing the effect itself. Actions and the subsequent results or changes exist within the physical plane, which is the realm of effect. All actions, results, or changes are nothing more than effects themselves and not causes, which means they had already been long set in motion before they are experienced. This is why action alone will never alter reality, maybe momentarily, but never completely. The only way to change an effect is to change the cause. The multi-dimensional sequence from which action originates is as follows: consciousness/frequency, intuition, mental nudges, action, reality. Until you understand this, like the masses, you will continue to act senselessly, and it will never be enough. Let's begin with the end product, which is reality. To get there, we take action. Think of action as the midwife of energy, solidifying the immaterial to the material. We take action based upon small mental nudges that compel us to do something. Whether taking a different route, reaching out to someone, sorting out documents, changing this, or buying that, we all experience these mental nudges. They are subtle, but they direct us on what to do. The mental nudges that we experience are a direct result of our intuition. Intuition is an amalgamation of two words, inner and tuition, meaning guidance or teaching that comes from within. The mental nudges that you receive that compel you to take specific action is directly reflective of your intuition. If intuition is what we download, then every download has a source, and that source is frequency. Your frequency will determine the download you extract. Frequency has a domino effect across the multi-dimensional sequence of events that lead to action. Since it is the highest level, it has the most power. Let's now revisit one of the examples listed earlier with an understanding of the sequence. Taking action to become wealthy while being in the frequency of poverty will only lead to a reality of poverty. No action from poverty will ever bring wealth. Frequency, poverty. Intuition, poverty. Mental nudges, poverty. Action, poverty. Reality, poverty. If someone is tuned into a frequency of poverty, that will determine their intuition, meaning they can only download information from a source of poverty. This leads to mental nudges that reflect poverty, causing action towards poverty, ultimately creating a reality reflective of poverty. Taking the action to reach a reality of being fit while being in the frequency of being unfit will only lead to a reality of unfit. No action from unfitness will ever bring fitness. Frequency, unfitness. Intuition, unfitness. Mental nudges, unfitness. Action, unfitness. Reality, unfitness. Somebody tuned in, a frequency of unfitness, can only experience an intuition that downloads information from a source of unfitness, leading to mental nudges that will eventually reflect unfitness, leading to action built off these mental nudges of unfitness, ultimately reflecting a reality of unfitness. Taking the action to reach a reality of freedom while being in the frequency of survival will only lead to a reality of survival. No action from survival mode will ever bring freedom. Frequency, survival. Intuition, survival. Mental nudges, survival. Action, survival. Reality, survival. Somebody tuned in. A frequency of survival can only experience an intuition that downloads information from a source of survival, leading to mental nudges that will eventually reflect survival, leading to action built off these mental nudges of survival, ultimately reflecting a reality of survival. Most spend their lives attempting to fight against the tide of the universe, which is their own state of consciousness or frequency. The multi-dimensional sequence from which action originates cannot be violated. Every and any attempt to do so will only result in frustration and failure. You must comply with how the universe works in order for things to work for you. When you work so hard and it is still not enough, it's easy to experience frustration, irritation, and apathy. The unfortunate irony is that these are all emotions that lead to the output of a frequency that the universe will then magnify, making you feel more frustrated, irritated, and apathetic while you're working so hard. But to the same degree that the multi-dimensional sequence from which action originates can work against you, it can work for you. Now that you understand the sequence from the top down, instead of spending your time at the bottom, like so many, you can alter it from the top. The knock-on effect is that you know exactly how to change your reality. As mentioned, Frequency ultimately determines the intuition you download, the mental nudges that you receive, and the mental nudges that are physically executed. So we must shift from operating on the lowest level of consciousness to the highest level of consciousness. The moment you alter your frequency, it has a ripple effect through the sequence that alters the action you take. So long as your frequency is calibrated to your desired reality, this will lead to you being internally guided by the version of you in your desired reality via the intuition into which you can tune, leading to mental nudges that come from the version of you in your desired reality, leading to action that comes from the version of you in your desired reality that finally leads to your desired reality manifesting. This is the same in theory and actuality. By shifting into the frequency or state of consciousness of your desired reality and operating from it, you can be guided on exactly how to get there. What you consider your destination is actually your starting location. You can only be wherever you already are. Consciousness, frequency, desired reality. Intuition, desired reality. Mental nudges, desired reality. Action, desired reality. Reality, desired reality. Something important to note. Being in the frequency of your desired reality is only as valuable as your ability to tune into your intuition and then execute upon your mental nudges. The world programs us to second-guess ourselves. In school, teachers checking our work can lead to the idea that what we do is inadequate and requires external validation, leading to an unconscious degree of self-distrust. A pattern of external verification and validation is set in motion, so we hesitate to trust ourselves, spending our whole lives wanting to be guided or validated. If you don't trust yourself, then how can you guide yourself? Do you trust yourself? Only you can answer this. Remember, you can lie to everybody except the universe. The degree to which you trust yourself determines your ability to capitalize on the frequency you're seeking to bring from the immaterial to the material. If you don't trust yourself, you won't trust your intuition, which means you won't trust the mental nudges that you download, making everything pointless. Many claim to trust God, but do not even trust themselves. How well can anyone trust God if they do not trust themselves? You can be in the right frequency, that which reflects your desired reality, but without self-trust, you won't be able to materialize it. If you don't trust yourself, then how can the universe trust you? Self-trust is crucial. The more self-trust you have, the more and the quicker you'll be able to transform frequency into reality. Practical. These downloads are like schools of fish. Abundant, yes, but they can easily slip away, and you don't know when the next one will come along. If you allow a mental nudge from your desired reality to slip away, you risk falling out of the frequency of your desired reality through life's ups and downs. If that happens, the wrong fish will start swimming by. You risk potentially executing upon mental nudges not aligned to the frequency of your desired reality. The speed that you execute these mental nudges with will reflect the amount of self-trust and conviction that you have, ultimately setting in motion for it to be compounded. After tuning into the frequency of your desired reality, it's likely that you will be guided to do things you haven't done before, or that you've been meaning to do, but about which you have been procrastinating. Procrastination is simply the stagnation of energy caused by trying to take action contradictory to your frequency. Once your frequency is aligned with the action you're trying to take, you'll naturally be compelled to act. The frequency of your desired reality will bring you to your desired reality, so long as you can bring yourself to do what you're being nudged to do. It will be subtle at first, as it's likely you haven't been listening, but the more you listen and the more you do as it directs you, the louder and clearer it will become. At first, the mental nudges of your desired reality will feel uncomfortable and somewhat foreign, but that's simply because you're leaving your old frequency. otherwise known as your comfort zone. It will feel different, but that indicates an energetic shift. Here are a couple of examples of differences that may arise once you shift into the frequency of your desired reality. Apply for that job. Change your website or social media profile. Reach out to someone you've been meaning to contact. Start that diet. Buy that book. Go a different route than normal. Tell someone how you truly feel. Work on something you've been meaning to do. Pivot strategy. Quit your job or business. Break up with someone. Sort out your email inbox. The moment you're tuned into the frequency of your desired reality, rest assured that you will know what to do. You can even convince yourself now that you know what to do and follow the guidance from within. Prepare to be guided to act differently and quickly. To metaphysically position yourself to walk effortlessly into your desired reality, remember this phrase: frequency first, action after.